Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey guys, just driving. So, I've been doing a lot of work lately, a lot of deep diving, soul searching on my, you know, journey, my healing journey. And I just had a talk with my son, my 18-year-old. He's super smart. It's funny when he pauses in between sentences, I can hear like intergalactic gears are turning. I love it. But yeah, he helped me recognize that right now I'm questioning in a healthy way. I am questioning everything. And looking at being grateful for all the things that do work and all of the things I've overcome. So not downplaying those. How many insurmountable, crazy, unlikely situations that I were to survive through. Not forgetting those. But questioning the things that haven't worked and realizing when they go against like a core belief or a subconscious belief or some agreement that was made when some parent told you that you were never going to be this or you can't do that or whatever, fill in the blank. I'm 42 and I have to question things that I've been doing for 30 years. And the realization is that's not just some energy in your brain. That is a wrinkle. That is a physical adjustment. I mean, that's a neurological pathway that has lived in a certain configuration and been affirmed countless times, maybe billions, not just thousands or millions of times, but billions of times. My brain may have performed the same calculation or come to the same conclusion or habitually thought about something the same way for every day for 30 years, 24 hours a day. And so it's easier just to stay stuck. That's why they say old dogs can't teach old dogs new tricks. It's easier to just hide behind that. It's a lot more difficult than to have the courage to say, you know what? Maybe there's a couple of these that can be rewired. Maybe there's a couple of these that I thought were working and aren't working. And even if I think it's impossible and it goes against every fiber of my being, you know, if what I've been doing in this particular area of my life, whether it's like my career, my personal relationships, my relationship with myself, if what I've been doing isn't working, then in this case, it's extremely important to go toe to toe with those beliefs, to question those, and to challenge them, and not only that, but not just fill in the blank with some new belief or idea that I just came up with, but like to be okay with maybe that's not the way, and maybe I don't know what the new way is now. Maybe I don't even know, and that's what surrender is, well, no, I tried this way and now I'm going to try B. I tried A, I'm going to try B, and if B doesn't work, I'm going to try C. But there's a gap between the letters A and B, and a gap between B and C, and a gap between C and D, where like infinity exists. We don't, like, anything could happen. There's no definition to that. There's no proven method, and there's nothing tangible or material to go by. It's just space. it's nothingness. It's like unlimited potential. And after doing, child trauma work and shadow work and digging and looking at myself and realizing that I had to heal things, which has been really liberating. Like, I actually feel lighter. I actually I speak differently. It's interesting. I have a different energy. I have a different vibration. I have different thoughts. It's awesome. Some of these I recognize. This is how I was 10 years ago. And other ones are whole new things. And other things are like, hey, these are new behaviors that might work, but they may not. We don't know. And in some cases, not trying to define it all. Metacognition. That's what my son reminded me of. Being able to step outside of yourself and look at yourself as if you were a third person, like you were about to coach yourself. And from an accountable, objective, honest point of view, with the ultimate goal being health, not necessarily success. Not that we're going to rule that out. That could be a side effect, but that's a shift right there for me. In Capricorn land, all we do is work towards goals and success and overcoming. And, like every day, Rocky music is playing in our ears. And learning to just chill out and allow things to happen organically. For a Capricorn, if you're a Capricorn, you're like laughing, listening. You're like, no, that doesn't work. Guys, yeah, it does. You can't just hammer everything into existence. Like, if you're powerful, like you're Superman in a garden, for example, you'll be able to get all your weeding, your tilling, everything you need to do to keep that garden alive in like 5 seconds. Right? Because you're fast, you're strong, you have skills. And then what do you do for the rest of the day? I mean, you gotta let nature do the rest. You gotta let wind and sun and water and earth and the natural process of life take place. And if you're Superman and you're just frantically digging all day long and moving soil around, watering and feeding it and making sure it gets enough sun, like, that's a surefire way to kill a garden. So like the craziest breakthrough that I could have, which makes no sense to any of my Capricorn higher thought or opinion, is somehow doing less is the answer to getting to where I want to go, and letting and relinquishing control of everything. I mean, having obviously some common sense when it comes to certain things, like a genie's not going to do my laundry, or make my car payment, but having to have control over every little thing in every aspect of my life, and things being done a certain way, have not brought me happiness, and they brought me success, but not nearly the level that I would expect I would have been at this age. They sure have taught me a lot. I love that part. But there's people out there that don't have control over everything, and they're happy and they're successful and their relationships work. Because they're allowing the organic part of the process to take place. They're not always tilling soil, not always pouring water, not always dumping fertilizer. Like, they get it. Farmers, they work hella hard, don't get me wrong. But They're not up all night after working all day, you know, trading stocks and then researching every last thing on how to make plants grow faster, and not sleeping and making sure that they're, doing 200-hour weeks. I mean, at some point, even farmers, the hardest working on people on the planet, know you've got to back off until it's time for harvest. There will be a time that work is required. It's been really tough for me to understand that maybe it's not all the time. It's not every waking second of every hour of every day. It probably sounds way too obvious for like air signs to hear this right now. They're just like, no, what are you talking about? But Capricorns, earth signs, workaholics, fire signs, I'm sure, like, surrender. Learning surrender. That's been a thing. It's a thing. And it's not just like, oh, I got a thing. It's a minute to minute, day to day, like constantly. It's like my shadow is like the part of me that wants to have control. And it's like, it's my co-pilot. And every time I'm about to let go of the wheel, it grabs the wheel. And it's like, no. And I'm like, yo, sometimes you just gotta drift. We're just drifting right now. Anyway, this wasn't supposed to be like some kind of sermon. I just wanted to share what's going on in here, and maybe it would serve you out there. Love you guys.